little thinkers. Welcome to a very special story expedition. Adjust your pillows and grab your backpack. We are going back in time. In a world full of ticking, clicking, and ringing, there was a boy who heard nothing at all. This is the story of the clock that taught time. This is Kieran. Kieran was 11 years old and he was a master of another world. A world inside a screen. Can you see him? He's very busy. He was too busy. He was in another world, a world of levels, power-ups, and flashing lights. The game was his whole world. Outside, the birds were singing. The sun was warm, but Kieran? He was tap-tap swiping, tap-tap swiping. The game was loud and bright. Kieran, his mother said softly, you've been in this room for 3 hours. 3 long hours of gaming. Your homework is waiting. The math problems are lonely, Kieran. The history book is gathering dust. Won't you come out and play in the real world for a while? 5 more minutes, Ma, Kieran promised. But little thinkers, we know what 5 minutes means when you're gaming, don't we? It's a trick. 5 minutes becomes 10, 10 becomes 30. And soon, the whole afternoon is gone. Gone like a bubble in the wind, just like that. She left the room quietly. She had told him many times. His teachers had told him too. But Kieran wasn't listening to words. Not today. She closes the door. The room is dark now, lit only by the flickering blue light of the tablet. The silence is heavy and cold. Wait, let's pause our story expedition. Little thinkers, have you ever promised 5 minutes and stayed for an hour? Think for 10 seconds. That evening, a special visitor arrived. The doorbell rang with a happy musical sound. It was Dada, Kieran's very favorite person. Dada! Kieran shouted, jumping into his arms. Dada always brought the best stories from the old days, and sometimes the best surprises. I brought you something special today, Beta, Dada said. Kieran's eyes went wide. Was it a drone? A robot? A new space game? He was so excited. He pulled out a clock, an old vintage wooden clock. It looked ancient. It looked a bit boring to Kieran. Just wood and gears. Kieran was disappointed. He didn't want a clock. He wanted something that flashed. But Dada leaned in and whispered a deep, dark secret. This isn't a normal clock, Kieran. This clock is special. It has a mind of its own. It stops whenever you are wasting your time. Kieran stared. It knows when you are respecting time, and it knows when you are throwing it away. It's been in our family for many, many generations. It's a guide. Kieran laughed. That's impossible, Dada. Clocks don't have brains. They just go around and around. But Dada didn't laugh. He just nodded slowly. Keep it in your room, Dada said. Watch it carefully. I'll come back in a month. We will see what the clock has to say about you then. Good luck. Kieran put the clock on his table. He looked at it. It looked back. Old people and their stories, he muttered, and picked up his game. Level 4. The clock went tick-tock, tick-tock. It was like a tiny heart beating in the room. Kieran tried to focus on his space battle, but he kept hearing it. Stop, little thinkers. Do you think a clock can really know when you are wasting time? Talk to your family about it for 10 seconds. Go! The next morning, Kieran forgot all about the secret. He just wanted to win. He played for 30 minutes. Level 5, level 6. He was so fast. Suddenly, no sound. The ticking stopped. Kieran looked up. The clock had frozen. Its hands were stuck at exactly 8:30 a.m. Why did it stop? No. The battery must be dead, Kieran said. But wait, this is an old clock. It doesn't use batteries. He tried to wind it up. Nothing happened. This is stupid, he said. But for 2 hours while he played his games, the clock didn't move. Not a single tick. It felt like it was judging him. Finally, he sighed and opened his homework. He wrote one number, then another. He was actually working. And then, tick! It started! He stopped writing. The clock stopped. He started writing again. The clock started. Kieran gasped. It was true. The clock was watching him. Wait, little thinkers, if you had a magic clock, what is the first thing you would do? Think about it for 10 seconds. What would you do? Kieran became a scientist. He had to test the magic. Experiment number 1, watching TV. He sat down and watched for 10 minutes. The cat was funny. The clock stopped immediately. It didn't like the cartoon cat at all. Or maybe it just didn't like Kieran sitting still and doing nothing. Interesting. Experiment number 2, doing nothing. He laid on his back. He stared at the ceiling. The clock kept ticking. Tick-tock, tick-tock. Why? Wait, Kieran thought. Why is it ticking? Then he realized he was thinking. He was dreaming. He was being quiet and peaceful. That wasn't wasting time. Experiment number 3, reading. He opened a book about stars and planets. The clock ticked happily the whole time. It loved stories and learning. The more he read, the more the clock seemed to tick with energy. Tick-tock, tick-tock. Learning was like fuel for the magic clock. Kieran smiled. Experiment number 4, helping Ma. He dried the big plates. He helped set the table for dinner. The clock went tick-tock, tick-tock. It was fast. Working together was the best. The clock seemed to dance with every sweep of the broom. Kieran felt proud. Helping others was a great use of time. Experiment number 5, creating. He drew a picture of the old wooden clock. He added eyes and a smile to it. The clock kept ticking happily. Kieran realized the clock wasn't just wood and gears. It was like a coach. It was teaching him what was real and what was just noise. He felt different. The days went by. Kieran started to change, little thinkers. He didn't wait for his mom to tell him to do his homework. He just did it first. Imagine that. He played with his little sister. They played Go Fish and Ludo. He noticed the birds outside the window. He noticed the world again. It was beautiful. Kieran went outside to help his dad. They dug a hole and planted a tiny sapling. The clock on the porch went tick-tock, tick-tock. He learned that growing things takes time, but it's good time. It's time that makes the world more beautiful. The clock loved it. Next, Kieran sat at the piano. Plink, plonk. It was hard at first, but every time he practiced, the clock cheered him on with its steady tick. After a week, he could play the whole song. He realized that practice is just time turned into a superpower. He felt like a musical hero. Even in the kitchen, the clock was watching. Kieran helped his mom bake chocolate chip cookies. Stirring the dough was hard work. The clock ticked faster as the cookies baked. Waiting was the hardest part, but the reward was so sweet. Time and patience made magic. At school, Kieran was different too. He started a big science project. He didn't wait until the last night. He did a little bit every day. When he presented his poster, everyone cheered. He realized that time is like a Lego set. You build it piece by piece, day by day. One day, his little sister was sad. Her favorite robot was broken. Kieran didn't go back to his game. He sat down to help her. It took a long time to fix, but her smile was worth every second. The clock ticked with a very happy, warm sound that day. One morning, Kieran decided to wake up his body too. He did 5 big stretches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The clock ticked along. He felt the grass on his feet and the cool air on his face. This was better than any game level. Moving was a great use of time. At breakfast, Kieran didn't look at his screen. He looked at his food. He tasted every blueberry and every spoonful of oats. Yummy! He talked to his mom and dad about his dreams. He realized he had never really talked to them at breakfast before. The clock was happy. On his way to school, Kieran looked at the world. He saw a ladybug on a leaf. He saw a squirrel jumping on a fence. Hello, squirrel. He smiled at everyone he met. Time spent being kind is never wasted. The clock in his mind went tick-tock, tick-tock. During lunch, instead of a game, Kieran went to the library. He learned about giant whales and tiny colorful fish. So many secrets. He shared the secrets with his friends. They looked at the pictures together. Learning together made the time feel twice as good. Back at home, Kieran looked at his messy room. It was time for a cleanup. He put away his cars and his blocks, one by one. Kieran wrote a letter to Dada. "Thank you for the clock," he wrote. "I am learning so much." Writing was like talking across time. He imagined Dada's smile when he received the letter. Happy thoughts are a wonderful way to fill your time. Tick-tock, tick-tock. In the evening, they watched the sunset. The sky was like a painting that changed every second. No game could ever be this beautiful. They sat in silence, just listening to the world go by. Sometimes the best use of time is to just be, to be still and grateful. Kieran painted a picture of the clock. He used golden paint for the pendulum and deep brown for the wood. It was his masterpiece. Art is time made visible. Every brushstroke was a second of focus and joy. The clock seemed to pulse with every new color. Game night! But this time, it was a board game with the whole family. They laughed when Kieran's piece got sent back to start. Oops! Seeing his sister win was better than winning any level himself. Love is the best way to spend your seconds. The clock was dancing. Before bed, a walk with Dad. They talked about the stars and how far away they are. Space is so big, and time is so precious. Dad told him that time is a gift we give to each other. Kieran promised to keep giving his best gifts. Tick-tock, tick-tock. The next day, they played catch. Thump! The ball landed in Kieran's glove. Again! Again! His heart was beating with the clock. He felt strong and fast. Every second of play was making him better. The clock ticked along, cheering for every catch. Good job, Kieran. At night, Kieran read to his sister a story about a brave knight and a friendly dragon. She fell asleep with a smile on her face. He felt like a hero too, a hero of his own time. He whispered goodnight to the stars. The clock whispered back, tick-tock. Kieran learned to wind the clock himself. Turn the key once, twice, 3 times. It was a promise to the day ahead. I will use you well. The pendulum started to dance again. Ready for another adventure. Every wind was a new beginning. Every tick was a heartbeat of hope. Kieran slept the best sleep of his life. He wasn't worried about levels or high scores. He was just happy. He had used his day well. Kieran's month was a whirlwind of magic. Real magic. He learned that time is like water in a garden. If you use it well, everything grows. If you waste it, it just disappears. He was growing into a wise boy. He was learning to be a master of his own life clock. And little thinkers, so can you. Every second is a tiny gift. Open it with a smile. And soon it was time for Dada to return and reveal the biggest secret of all, the secret of the hidden switch. But the lesson, that was already part of Kieran's heart, forever and ever. Thanks for joining my expedition. Remember, your time is magic. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell for more stories. Happy scouting!